NASA recently discovered something incredible hidden beneath Antarctic ice while analyzing data. This discovery not only changes everything we know about the Earth's water system, but it may also aid in research into life in space. Understanding Antarctica and its secrets may be critical to humanity's survival. Antarctica is one of the world's 7 southern hemisphere continents, and it is the 5th largest continent in terms of total area, nearly twice the size of Australia. Antarctica is one of the best places to observe from space due to its dry climate. But what's even better is that meteorites can be found on the continent's white surface. Scientists have already extracted about 45,000 meteorites from the ice, and they believe they can find another 300,000 more. Because there aren't many terrestrial rocks there, their dark color makes them easy to spot. The dry desert environment of Antarctica also helps to preserve them, even those that fell to the ground more than 1 million years ago. West Antarctica has the most volcanic activity. Scientists recently discovered 138 volcanoes in West Antarctica alone. You would think that Antarctica is always cold, but its coastal regions can reach temperatures of up to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Have you ever imagined what Antarctica would look like without the ice? It may seem unimaginable now, but the continent was not always covered by ice. However, that was 34 million years ago. NASA changed it by using computer simulations to create the most accurate map of it. What they saw today was incredible. The continent is not flat at all. It is bumpy, with valleys, rolling plains, and high mountains. But this paled in comparison to what they had discovered beneath Antarctica's ice. NASA discovered 2 new subglacial lakes, and what's even cooler is that they discovered them from space. You may be wondering how they were able to spot them. If you said high-tech satellites, you'd be correct. NASA launched ICSat in 2003, a satellite that measured ice sheet mass, balance, and cloud aerosol heights. This satellite also assisted in the creation of an ice-free map of Antarctica. The European Space Agency launched the second satellite, Cryosat-2, in 2010 to track changes in ice thickness. NASA launched the third satellite, ICESat-2, in 2018, which measured ice, heat, elevation, and sea ice thickness. It was NASA's most advanced Earth-observing laser instrument, capable of producing high-precision data. When the data from the other satellites was combined, they were able to locate these 2 new lakes near a pair of larger ones. But how did these lakes come to be in the first place? The average thickness of Antarctica's ice is about 1.2 miles, but it can get as thick as 1.8 miles in some places, especially during the winter. You may believe there is nothing under there, but science says otherwise. You may be wondering how they were able to spot them. If you said high-tech satellites, you'd be correct. NASA launched ICSat in 2003, a satellite that measured ice sheet mass, balance, and cloud aerosol heights. This satellite also assisted in the creation of an ice-free map of Antarctica. The European Space Agency launched the second satellite, Cryosat-2, in 2010 to track changes in ice thickness. NASA launched the third satellite, ICESat-2, in 2018, which measured ice, heat, elevation, and sea ice thickness. It was NASA's most advanced Earth-observing laser instrument, capable of producing high-precision data. When the data from the other satellites was combined, they were able to locate these 2 new lakes near a pair of larger ones. But how did these lakes come to be in the first place? The average thickness of Antarctica's ice is about 1.2 miles, but it can get as thick as 1.8 miles in some places, especially during the winter. You may believe there is nothing under there, but science says otherwise. Under the weight of the continent, the ice flows slowly but constantly in different directions. For many years, scientists were unable to determine how water moved, but that began to change in 2007, when data from the ICESat provided insight into what lies beneath the surface. They discovered an entire network of meltwater lakes connected beneath Antarctica's fast-flowing ice streams. There were hundreds of them. Helen Amanda Fricker, a glaciologist at Scripps Institution of Oceanography, hypothesized that the elevation changes measured by ICESat were caused by the dynamics of these lakes. They did not hold meltwater statically. Instead, they filled and drained continuously over time through a network of waterways, causing the ice above to rise and fall. Fricker co-authored a recent study that discovered that the drainage of one lake flushed up to 198 billion gallons into the ocean in just 3 days. The discovery of the 2 new lakes will help scientists better understand how quickly the Antarctic ice sheet will change as the climate warms, and how this will affect global ocean currents and sea level rise. The filling and draining cycle of the lakes also causes cracks and crevices in the ice sheet, so the information they find from these new lakes will help them understand the damage on the ice's surface. They will also be able to assess how this filling and draining system affects the rate at which ice melts into the oceans and seas, allowing them to assess how the additional fresh water may affect marine ecosystems. This discovery may also indicate whether or not there is life beneath the ice. Scientists drilled through 3,504 feet of ice and discovered that water samples taken from one of the lakes contained around 10,000 bacterial cells per milliliter. A high number of bacterial life is a good sign because it indicates that the icy waters may also support higher life forms like microanimals, and one of these new lakes may even be their home. The most exciting aspect is that the new lakes may help them determine whether life is possible on other planets. Scientists believe that any life beneath Mars' frozen surface may follow the patterns seen in Antarctica's lakes. As a result, there is a chance that they will discover crucial new information about the type of life that may have existed on Mars. The lowest temperature ever recorded on Earth was minus 135 degrees Fahrenheit in 2010. The size of the ice surface on Antarctica changes throughout the year. In the summer, it is about 1.2 million square miles, but in the winter, it grows to 7.3 million square miles. Despite the changes, it is still the world's largest piece of ice. Because there are only 5 different species of penguins, seals, and killer whales, it is considered a no-man's land. Despite the continent's harsh conditions, tourists can visit it for fishing and research. During the summer, around 5,000 people live on the continent at research stations, but when winter arrives, the number naturally drops to 1,000. Antarctica's ice blanket contains 70% of the world's fresh water reserves. Consider what would happen if it melted. Global sea levels would rise by nearly 200 feet. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your interested friends and family.